Hello BookTube, my name is Adrian and welcome to the weirdest challenge I have ever set for myself. So welcome to the intro clip of this video where you may or may not see this video. We'll see how this month goes. But I made the decision that I'm going to challenge myself with something that is probably a very stupid choice, but I'm gonna try it anyway. And that is that I'm going to try and read 31 books in the month of August. I read 24 books in July, and that is the the highest number of books I've ever read in a month. And it got me thinking of if I actually dedicated it, if I actually worked at it, could I read a book a day? And I think I could, because readathons, I complete all of the readathon challenges because I just dedicate myself to reading an entire book in a day. And so I feel like I could do it. And so I decided I'm gonna try. And so today, when I'm filming this clip, it is August 1st, and it is the third day of the BookTubeathon. And it is very late at night now, and I have already finished a book for the day because it's BookTubeathon, and so I had to finish a book for a challenge. And I started and finished this entire book today, and I'm gonna tell you about it. And I guess this video will also kind of be a wrap-up for what I read this month as well. Maybe it's 31 books, maybe it's not. I guess we'll just have to see if I can live up to my crazy idea here. So, the book that I read today, if you saw my BookTubeathon vlogs, you will already know this, but the book that I finished today was I'll See You in Paris by Michelle Gable. This book I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. This book is told in 2 timelines and follows a girl named Annie who is traveling to London with her mom and kind of discovering the story of this town that they're in, and at the same time trying to figure out information about her father. She is 19 years old, I believe, and she does not know who her father is. All she knows is that her mother left her father while she was pregnant, and that her father is dead. So that's all she knows. She knows that. And so she's traveling with her mom to England for business and trying to figure out information about her dad, as well as figure out the story behind this book that her mom was kind of interested in before they left. And she ends up meeting with a man who is telling her the story of this lost duchess, which is another storyline that we follow, is the person who wrote the book about the lost duchess. We follow the storyline of a girl who goes to this woman who is being interviewed by a man who thinks that she is the lost duchess, no matter how much she refuses to believe that she is the lost duchess, and that takes place in, I believe, 1972. We have these 2 storylines going at the same time, and this book is billed to have a mystery element in it, and I really didn't see the mystery element all that much. I could see where the mystery was supposed to be, but I figured it out almost immediately. As soon as we introduced new characters, I figured out who they were to the story, and so there really wasn't a whole lot of mystery to it. So I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars because while I really enjoyed the storyline and the turns it took, it being billed as a mystery really didn't do the storyline justice. So yeah, that is the first book of this challenge, and my first book, I guess, of the month is I'll See You in Paris. So that is the first book I read in August, and like I said, I am crazy, so I apparently am going to attempt to read 31 books in the month of August. 1 book a day for the entire month. Whew. So that's the plan. I think I will be able to stick to that pretty well for BookTubeathon because I'm reading a book a day for BookTubeathon, so I think I can manage that. So we'll see how it goes after BookTubeathon. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next clip with the next book that I finished, which will hopefully be tomorrow. Hello guys. So it is late in the evening on August 2nd, and I wanted to give you guys an update for this 31 and 31 challenge that I'm doing. So today I finished My Plain Jane by the Lady Janies, which is Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This book is a fictionalized retelling of Jane Eyre, in which Charlotte Bronte is actually a character and friends with Jane Eyre, and there are ghosts involved, and they hunt them kind of Ghostbusters-ish style. So that's kind of the gist of the story. I really love this story. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. The Lady Janies are always a lot of fun to read from. This was my Owl Crate edition as well, so that was fun to get to read from this really pretty copy as well. So that was my book for the 2nd. So with that being said, I will put this down. And I think tomorrow, for day 3 of this challenge, I'm going to probably pick up a historical romance because I'm kind of in the mood for that. So I will probably pick up, I think I'll probably pick up An Offer from a Gentleman by Julia Quinn, which is the 3rd book in the Bridgerton series. So I'm excited to read that one, and so I will check in with you guys tomorrow to let you know where I am with my reading and if I actually finish a book tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Hello BookTube. So please excuse the towel head that I've got going on right now, but I just got out of the shower from dyeing my hair. I wanted to give you guys a quick update about the book that I finished for today. Today I finished An Offer from a Gentleman by Julia Quinn. This is the 3rd book in the Bridgerton series. This one follows the 2nd oldest brother, Benedict, and he goes to a masquerade ball that is hosted by his family, and there he meets Sophie, who is actually a handmaid, but she is dressed up for the masquerade, and it's their story of kind of finding each other, falling in love, and the struggles that come along with the fact that she is a housemaid and he is a member of a very wealthy family. So overall, I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. So that was the book that I read for day 3. I think I'm going to go ahead and start tomorrow's book for this because tomorrow I'm going to do the book to movie adaptation challenge for Booktubeathon, and for that I am doing Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne. So I struggle with classics and they usually take me a long time to read, but it's a challenge for Booktubeathon, so I have to do it if I want to complete all the challenges, and I do. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that now so that I have a jump start on it. And yeah, I will check back in with you guys tomorrow when I have some reading to update you on. Hello BookTube. So I probably look ridiculous as I am sitting on the couch with my hair a mess and still in my pajamas, but I wanted to give you guys a quick update on what I read last night for 31 and 31. I read Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne. I ended up giving this book 2 out of 5 stars. It is a classic and it is a lot more science heavy than I was expecting. It kind of dragged, it was kind of boring, but it's a classic, and classics require a lot to get high ratings out of me because they tend to be a little more slow and draggy and honestly kind of boring. So the sciencey ones don't tend to do much for me. So I ended up giving this 2 stars. Nothing. This book is literally about a journey to the center of the earth. That's really all there is to it. It's an adventure book. Like I said, I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. It was okay. So the next book I think I'm going to read is probably Losing It by Cora Cormack, and I'm probably going to start that here in a minute. So I will check back in with you guys when I finish that book. Hello BookTube. So it is quite a bit later in the afternoon now. I'm trying to get this one to go down for a nap. But I wanted to give you guys an update because I did finish today's book. And today I read Losing It by Cora Cormack. This book was a reread for me, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, which is the exact same rating I gave it last time I read it. This book is about a girl who's in her final year of college, and she decides that she doesn't want to graduate college being a virgin. And so she decides to go out and try and have a one-night stand and she picks up a guy at a bar and takes him home, and then chickens out and she just abandons him in her apartment. He eventually leaves. She goes back into the apartment, and the next day when she goes to class, it turns out he is the new professor for her class. The story is about them deciding that they have feelings for each other, and trying not to form a relationship because she is his student. But oh yeah, that's the gist of the story. I did like it. Like I said, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and yeah, that's really all I have to say about this book. The next book, I don't really know what I want to try and read next, but I will let you know whenever I finish whatever I pick next. So I will see you guys when I finish that book. Hello, book 2. It is hot in my house, and my kids and I are getting ready to head to my parents' house because, as you just saw, it's hot in my house. We have the fans on, we have central air, but my husband apparently didn't replace the air filter when it was due to be replaced last time, and we don't have one in the house to replace it now. And he doesn't get home from work for another hour and a half. And so he's going to go and pick up a new air filter and replace it, but in the meantime, it's hot in here, and I have 2 kids, and I don't want to be here. So we're gonna run to my parents' house, and we're gonna probably swim in her yard, in her pool, and just relax and enjoy ourselves. And so we're gonna go ahead and do that. But I want to go ahead and kind of let you guys know what I've been reading. So today I have already started and finished Yours to Keep by Shannon Stacy. This is the 3rd book in the Kowalski family series. This book follows Sean, who is a cousin of the original 2 Kowalskis, and he ends up in a fake engagement with a girl named, I believe her name is Emily. It's either Emily or Emma, and they are in a fake engagement trying to convince her grandmother that she's okay on her own. Obviously things go from there. They develop a real relationship potentially. It's a whole thing. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. But that was the book I've read so far today. And after that, I started reading When a Scot Ties the Knots by Tessa Dare, continuing my historical romance binge. So that is what I've been reading. I will check back with you guys later because we're getting out of this house. But before we go, we have to play the game of where did Adrian put her keys? This is my least favorite game to play. Hello guys. So it is now 10:10 at night, and we are still at my parents' house. We did go back to our house, but we came back because we thought our AC was going to be like a quick fix, something that we could just fix, you know, just we thought the air filters in it just needed replaced, and they did, but that wasn't the problem. So we did that, and our house went from what you saw earlier at 78, 79 to 82 degrees when we left. And so we determined we couldn't live there until it was fixed. So tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, I am calling somebody to come look at it, and hopefully it'll be, we're pretty sure we know what's wrong with it now based on the investigating my husband, so we're pretty sure we know what's wrong with it. And it will either be a fairly quick fix, or we're gonna need a whole new AC unit put into our house, which is unfortunate. But we're hoping that it's a quick fix and that we will only be here maybe one more night after tonight. But our house was hot and we couldn't live there. And so my husband and I, our kids, and our dogs, and our chinchilla are all moved into my parents' house for a little bit. But we had to move the chinchilla in because if you do not know much about chinchillas, they can have heat strokes at anything over 80 degrees. And our house was 82, and it was only going to get hotter because it was, you know, after dark. It was cooled down outside, and our house was still hot. So she couldn't stay there. So we brought her here, and she is now in a little makeshift kind of system. I don't know if you've seen her or her cage in the vlogs before, but I'll just kind of show you what she has now. She's not super thrilled about it because it's much smaller than what she's used to, but you know, it's better than dying. So this is Sophia. I don't know if you can see her. There's Sophia. It's kind of dark. But she is in, we got this like pet carrier, and I actually use this when I clean out her cage. I put her in here so that she can run around, have a little play place. It's just an area where she can hang out, and so it's coming in handy now as a makeshift home. So she's in here. She's got her litter box. She's got her house with her food in it. She's got her water attached to the side here. And she's got some chew toys and things down in there, some treats. Because it's been a traumatic evening for her. So she's going to go to bed, I guess. So yeah, so that's her little home now. So she's here. She's precious, but she's not super thrilled. So we're going to be giving her lots of extra love and cuddles and attention while we're here, and she's away from her. She's been in that cage, like not in it, obviously she gets out, plays and stuff, but like that's been her home for 2.5 years, almost maybe 3 years. She was in a much smaller pen before, and she actually has an anxiety disorder, which means that she chews her fur off when she gets stressed out. So I assume that's going to come back and she's going to get anxious while we're here. But hopefully that's the only thing, because a little bit of over grooming is not the end of the world. It may feel like it to her, but she'll be okay. But she has an anxiety disorder, which kind of came about based on her habitat. She felt like her habitat was too small, so we ended up bumping her up to a bigger sized living space, a cage. She is 1 chinchilla in a cage that is designed for 4, so she's a little spoiled. So hopefully she does okay with this whole transition thing. We're going to be supervising her and, you know, watching her like a hawk. But, you know, she couldn't stay there any more than we could. If we didn't feel comfortable there, she sure didn't. So we're here. This is technically a reading vlog, so reading-wise, I have listened to nothing else. I'm still reading When a Scott Ties the Knot by Tessa Dare, and I am liking it so far. I haven't gotten any farther than I was the last time I updated you, which was like chapter 8. So I am going to go to bed. I think I'm going to lie in bed and read some more tonight, just to relax, unwind a little bit, and see what happens. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow we can get some good news for our air conditioning in our house. Hopefully we could be moved back soon. Hello guys, so I am sitting back at my house waiting for the guy to come to fix our air conditioning, and so I wanted to go ahead and give you guys an update, because last night, after I gave you the update from my parents' house, I finished reading When a Scott Ties the Knot by Tessa Dare. I think I already told you what this book is about, but in case I didn't, I will leave it linked down below the GoodReads page so you can see what it's about. But I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. I really did like it. So that is the book that I've read for today. So far, I'm doing really well with this 31 and 31 challenge. I am 1 week in and already read 7 books, so that's pretty good. Hello BookTube. So I am back again in the exact same position I last saw you. Today I have started reading The Secret of the India Orchid by Nancy Campbell Allen. Now it's about 2 hours later and I finished it. So I can just tell you what it's about now and what I rated it. This is a proper romance, so it is a historical novel that follows a man who is in the Secret Service, basically, or not the Secret Service. He's basically in the British CIA, I guess. He's a spy for the British Army, and he is tasked. He thinks he's retired. And he goes off and he starts courting a woman, and it turns out that he is called back into duty because he needs to find a set of documents that if he does not find, that it could endanger the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, including the people he loves, including the woman he's courting. So he needs to go and find these documents, and so he takes off to India to try and find them, leaving the girl behind. She's heartbroken. The girl that he was courting ends up following him to India, and they end up having to find these documents together, and it is a mystery. I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. The whole time I was reading it, I thought it was going to be a 2-star book because I wasn't really enjoying it. It was kind of slow, kind of dragging. And then the end happened, and I did not see the ending coming, and because of that I bumped it up a star, because for mysteries to actually surprise me, it deserves an extra star to me, because not very often do mysteries surprise me. So I did really like that aspect, so I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. So guys, because it is about 4 o'clock now, I don't know what I'm going to pick up yet, but I will find, once I finish whatever I decide to pick up, I will let you know. So I'll see you in the next clip. Hello BookTube, so I am back for another update on this whole crazy 31 and 31 I'm doing, and I have completed yet another book. Today I read Chaser by Kylie Scott. This is the third and final book in the Dive Bar trilogy. These are new adult novels, so they do have some adult content, so be aware. This book is about Eric, who is one of the guys from the who partially owns the dive bar. The gist of this story is that he is considered a player, and one day a pregnant woman moves into the area and is friends with one of his friends. She's gonna be a single mom, and he takes a liking to her, and so it's kind of their story, and it's just really sweet, and I really liked it. So that is Chaser by Kylie Scott. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really did like it. It was kind of nice to see the way that Eric grows as a person throughout the books, because there was something that happened with him in a previous novel that definitely affects the way that this story goes, and so I definitely enjoyed seeing the growth that comes from that. So that was the 9th book for this challenge. I think it's about 4:30, so I'm probably going to start another book today while I go out for a walk, and I'm going to start reading Hunted by Megan Spooner. Also, no, our AC is not fixed yet, but I'm in the house because the guy is coming to kind of take a closer look at the AC to give us an actual price quote on how much it's going to cost us, because as it turns out, we need an entirely new AC unit, so that sucks. But that's okay. We'll be okay. It's not a big deal. I mean, it is a big deal, but it's not a big deal. I'm not going to let it be a big deal. We're just going to have to live with it. So, we're going to get a new AC unit. Lord knows how long that's going to take. But I finished another book, and so I will check back with you guys once I finish the next book. Hey guys, so we are in the car on our way home, and I wanted to tell you guys about the book that I read today for 31 and 31. Today I read the book Hunted by Megan Spooner. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. Apparently I have a thing for Beauty and the Beast inspired stories. But this book is a Beauty and the Beast inspired story. Basically, the girl, her family is very well off in society, and then one day her father loses everything, and so they move out into the woods where her dad's going to become a hunter to try and make money for her and her sisters. And one day he goes off and never comes back, and so she decides to go out and find her father, figure out why he didn't come back, and in the process she gets kidnapped by a beast. I really like this book. It was interesting to see kind of the magical elements. This is awful. I am so sorry. But yeah, I really liked it. Like I said, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think that's all I'm going to say on this book, because this is horrible trying to film this in the car, because I feel like I'm going to give all of you motion sickness, so I'm so sorry. But I will see you guys with my update on the next book I read for this challenge. So far, so good. Hello guys. So I am on my way to Walmart right now because I need to pick up some things for dinner. But I wanted to give you guys a quick update about the book I finished last night before I went to bed. And I can't remember if I told you what I was planning to start, but I ended up starting a reread of We Should Hang Out Sometime by Josh Sundquist. This book was a non-fiction story about when Josh Sundquist, the author, realized that he never really had a real girlfriend, and he started going back and talking to those girls that he had kind of sort of had something with, and to figure out what went wrong. And it was a really good book. I really liked it the first time I read it. At the time I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. When I reread it this time, I also gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. Like I said, that is what I read yesterday. And so I think I'm kind of in the mood for some more non-fiction kind of stuff. I think I'm going to go ahead and start Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham. So I will see you guys when I finish reading that book. Hello BookTube. So it is now sometime around the afternoon on the, what is today? The 12th. And I wanted to give you guys an update. So first of all, I'm sitting in my living room because our air conditioning is finally fixed. I'm so glad the air conditioning is fixed. Oh my gosh. Whew. But the air conditioning is done, so we're moved back into our house now. But I also wanted to give you guys an update on my reading, because while the guy was here replacing our AC today, I finished reading Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham, From Gilmore Girls to Gilmore Girls and Everything in Between. Basically, if you can't tell from the subtitle of this book is about Lauren Graham and how she got into Gilmore Girls originally, and how the process of going from that to the shows and TV movies she did in between Gilmore Girls, and then finally on to Gilmore Girls, the reunion as it was being filmed. And so this was a really great book. I ended up giving this book 5 out of 5 stars. I loved seeing kind of the behind the scenes stuff and the and how the actors who played these characters from Gilmore Girls bonded. I love Lauren Graham, and the way she talks and the way she tells a story is just so great. And so I ended up giving this book 5 out of 5 stars, 5 out of 5 stars, which I think I already said. So that is what I've read today. It is about 2:30 actually, so I've got some time. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my next book, which is going to be Princess in the Spotlight by Meg Cabot. This is the second book in the Princess Diaries series, so I'm gonna read this, and once I finish this, I will check back in with you guys, which will probably be tomorrow. So I will see you then. Bye. Hello, BookTube. So I am here in my little filming corner because I wanted to give you guys a quick update about what I read for 31 and 31 today. And today I've finished reading Princess in the Spotlight by Meg Cabot. This is the second book in the Princess Diaries series. This one is just continuing Princess Mia's journey through you know, life, discovering she's a princess and everything like that. I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. I did like it. It was cute, but it is just kind of a diary format show, and it is kind of a middle grade more so than anything else. So it is a little bit, you know, simpler. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. So that is what I read today. Hey guys, so I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the book that I read for today's 31 and 31 challenge, and that was The Dazzling Heights by Katharine McGee. This is the second book in the 1000th Floors series, and basically this world is about almost all of society lives in giant towers in major cities. In the case of this book, the main tower is in New York City over Central Park. It takes up the whole of Central Park and goes up 1,000 floors. And this story follows several characters along the different floors. This is the second book, so I can't really tell you much about the plot because that would spoil everything. But basically this book is very dramatic. It is very gruesome, I guess. Very dramatic, very reality show, like drama, teenage drama, soap opera style stuff. It's very dramatic, but I really like this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The characters are both lovable and unlovable. I love some things about them and hate other things, which makes it an interesting book and makes for a good read in my personal opinion. So that is this day's book for the 31 and 31. So I will check back in with you guys tomorrow with my next read. Hey guys, I wanted to give you guys an update because last time you saw me, I finished reading The Dazzling Heights by Katharine McGee, and I ended up missing a day after that. I did not get another book read the day after that. So in an attempt to try and catch up, I have read 2 books today, so I am caught up now. Today I read And Every Day the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Frederick Bachman. This was about a 93-page story. It was very short, very quick, and I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was super cute. This book is about, or it was super sad, but this book is about a man who has Alzheimer's, and it's about him kind of dealing with the fact that he has Alzheimer's, and it was such a good story. So I read that this morning, just knocked that out really quickly and loved it. And then after that I picked up Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. That is over on my shelf and I don't feel like going to get it. But I read Alex Approximately, which is a reread. It was one of my favorite books of last summer, so I decided to go ahead and reread it because I was kind of in the mood for it. And I knew that I could read through it quickly because I've already read it before. So I reread that one, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, just like I did the last time. It was so good, and it was a very enjoyable read. So that was what I read for those days. As for what I plan to read next, tomorrow we have a very busy day. And so I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done. There is a chance I will screw up and miss a day again, but we will see how we do. Hopefully I won't miss a day, but if I do, I may just do what I did today and read a shorter book and then an additional book, or maybe tomorrow I'll just try and pick up a shorter book to begin with. That way I don't have to worry about it. So I will see you guys tomorrow with my next update. Hey guys, so I'm getting ready to head out to the gym right now, but I wanted to give you guys an update about the last 2 days of reading for me. Yesterday I did not read a single thing. I just didn't. And so today I read 2 things. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Yesterday I started listening to the audiobook of The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, and I really wasn't into it. I was kind of struggling getting through it, so I ended up not finishing it, and I got probably a quarter of the way through. And so I didn't finish anything for yesterday. So today I ended up finishing The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. Like, I just finished it, and I ended up giving that book 3 out of 5 stars. It was really kind of hard for me to get into. It was kind of slow. I didn't super love it, but that was what I did. And then in order to make up for the fact that I didn't actually finish a book yesterday, I read The Beauty and the Blacksmith by Tessa Dare, which is a novella that takes place during the Spindle Cove series and actually follows Diana, who is actually the sister of was just one of the characters from the first book that I was really wanting to see her story, because I knew that everybody was going to have a story at some point, and so I was kind of waiting for hers, and then it was a novella. So I read that one, and I ended up giving that one 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. So yeah, that was what I've read. I'm kind of still on a historical romance kick, so I will probably read another historical romance tomorrow. I don't know if I will pick up a Tessa Dare or if I will pick up a Julia Quinn, because those are the 2 authors I'm currently working through. So we'll see what I decide to pick up tomorrow. But that is today's update, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, so this is Adrienne from the future. So if you do not know and haven't seen any of my videos where I've talked about this, this video that you're watching right now, this 31 and 31 challenge, a good portion of the files that I had filmed for this vlog, a good portion of the clips, they ended up getting corrupted, and I was not able to use them. I was able, with the help of some tech-savvy friends, I was able to get a few of those clips back, and then there were obviously ones that I didn't lose at all. Basically, of all of the books that I talked about, there were quite a few files that ended up corrupted, and I got some of them back, but not all of them. And so the next 3 books that I'm going to tell you about, I'm just going to tell you about now, because we were not able to get those files back. But the next 3 books that I read, the first one was Any Duchess Will Do by Tessa Dare. This is a continuation of the Spindle Cove series. I do not remember which number this is. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. This book was about the bartender at the Bull and Blossom in Spindle Cove, and a Duke comes in, and his mother says, pick any girl in this place and I will make her a duchess because you have to get married. And to spite his mother, he picks the bartender, and his mother has to make her a duchess, and it's kind of their story and their relationship. So that was that one. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next one was a novella, which I read because I was a day behind. I do remember that. And for that one, I read Lord Dashwood Missed Out, which is a novella in the Spindle Cove series. This one does not actually follow anyone in Spindle Cove directly. This one actually follows an author who is coming to Spindle Cove to give a presentation, and her relationship with someone also not in Spindle Cove. So this one, you do get to see the Spindle Cove girls, but it's not about any of them. So I gave that one 3 out of 5 stars. It was short, it was fine, but you know, it was just fine. So 3 out of 5 stars. And then the third book that I'm going to talk about in this fast forward clip, you're going to see me at least one more time, I think, is Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, which is another one of the Bridgerton novels by Julia Quinn. I am going to double check, but I'm pretty sure this one follows Colin, who is one of the older Bridgerton boys. So Romancing Mr. Bridgerton is the 4th book in the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. It does follow Colin and his relationship. He's kind of known as a, you know, rake, and it's his relationship and kind of falling in love, kind of, you know, the typical romance kind of thing. I really did like this one, but there were a few things that I just thought were kind of silly, and so I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars, but I did like it overall. So there's that one. So that is all for this clip from future Adrian. I will now return you to past Adrian, where she can tell you about the next couple books. So I will see you guys in a couple books when I inevitably have to do this again. So I will see you then. Alright, so welcome back to the future Adrian clip. I have 3 more books to tell you about, and then this will be the last you see of me, and then you will finish off this video and see how I did with this challenge. So like I said, I've got 3 more books to tell you about. Hey guys, so I have finished another book, which means I have another book to tell you about for this 31 and 31 challenge. Today I finished reading Say Yes to the Marquess by Tessa Dare. This is another historical romance novel. I am kind of on the kick for those right now. So this book follows our main character, our main girl, who has been engaged to a Marquess for quite a while, several years, since they were teenagers, I think, and he has since been gone for 8 years, and every time he comes back, they don't get married. He pushes off the engagement and leaves again. He's traveling. And she decides that she's done. She wants nothing to do with the wedding anymore, and she wants to call off the engagement. But in order to do that, she has to have the Marquess's brother sign off on the, you know, calling off the engagement. And she goes to him. He refuses, and then proceeds to try to convince her to still get married. And in the process of that, they end up forming kind of a relationship. So I enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. It was good. It wasn't as good as some other historical romance I've read recently, but I did like it. So yeah, that was that book that I read for 31 and 31. It's still fairly early in the afternoon, so I'm probably going to start something else. I just haven't decided yet. So I will see you guys tomorrow with another reading update. So I will see you then. Hey guys, so I am already in bed for the night, but I wanted to go ahead and give you guys an update because I realized I did not film my clip to tell you about my 31 and 31 for the day. Today I ended up reading All He Ever Needed by Shannon Stacy. This is the 4th book in the Kowalski family series and follows one of the Kowalski cousins from the original 2 books. I ended up really liking this one. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't love it as much as some of the others I had read, but I did like it. So that was what I read today. I'm going to try and keep this clip short and sweet because, as you can see, I have a cat that wants cuddles. So I have to deal with this here. And yeah, I will check back in with you guys when I have another book read tomorrow. Okay, so it's kind of dark in here, so I hope you can see me. But I wanted to give you guys an update on the last 2 books I've read. This is 4. The last 2 books I've read. Because I forgot to update you guys yesterday. So, the last 2 books that I read were the 3rd and 4th books in the Princess Diaries series, which are Princess in Love and then Princess in Waiting. These books, I gave both of them 4 stars. They were good. I thought they were funny. They had a lot of, like, 2000s pop culture references, which was fun. And they were just fun books. There was nothing, like, full of substance to them at all, but I did like them. That's really all I have to say on those 2 books. There really wasn't that much to them. They were just cute, easy to read books that were pretty quick. Yeah, so those were those 2 books. I think that's it for this clip. I don't know what I'm going to read tomorrow, but I guess you will know here in a second when I tell you about it. So I gotta go. Bye. For these 3, I have Wildflower by Drew Barrymore, which is her autobiography where she talks about kind of her life and growing up and what, you know, she learned growing up through being the child of famous individuals and kind of what her life was like. I really like this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I listened to this as an audiobook, and it's actually narrated by Drew Barrymore, which was kind of fun. The next book I read was Heretics Anonymous, and I don't remember who this is by, but the photo should be on the screen. I really love this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This book is about a boy who gets sent to a Catholic school. He is not religious. He's actually an atheist, and he ends up in a group called Heretics Anonymous, which is basically a group for all individuals who do not fit in with the normal Catholic school system. And it's kind of the story of, I guess you could call it a coming of age story, but it's definitely that kind of thing. And I love this book. I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars. There were a lot of things that were said in it that just like were big moments, and I just loved it. So I gave that 5 out of 5 stars. And then the last book that I have to tell you about in this future Adrian clip is Daughter of the Pirate King. Again, I don't remember who this is by, and I'm trying to do this real quick before I get it edited and uploaded. And so this one I ended up giving 4 out of 5 stars. This is a book about pirates and a girl who basically intentionally gets herself kidnapped to try and find this piece of a magic map, I believe, and kind of her story. And it was good. I liked it. Like I said, 4 out of 5 stars. So, alright, so that is all you will see from future Adrian. I will now hand you back over to past Adrian so she can wrap this video up for you. So I will see you guys, well, later, I guess. Hey guys, so it is late on August 30th, and I have finished 2 books today. In order to get caught up on the 31 challenge, because we're almost done. And so I read 2 books, so I'm caught up. So that means tomorrow I only have to read 1 book, and then I'll be done, and I'll have read 31 books in 31 days, which is crazy. But the 2 books that I read today were Anxious for Nothing by Max Lucado, which is a nonfiction Christian book about anxiety and what the Bible kind of has to say about anxiety and those kinds of things. And I really did enjoy it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because, I mean, it's a nonfiction, so it is a little dry at times, and Max Lucado is a very wordy person, and I found myself getting distracted sometimes. So that was the one book I read. And then the other book I read was The Deal of a Lifetime by Frederick Bachman. This is technically a book. It's a very short story. I think the audiobook was like 43 minutes long. And then I listened at 2 times speed, so it took me like 20 minutes to read this thing. But I absolutely love this story. It is honestly, I don't even know how to give a summary of it because it is so very short. But it's kind of faced with a man is faced with the idea of, would you be able to give up yourself for someone else? Give up your life for someone else's life, and not just in a literal death sense. It's way bigger than that. It was such a good story. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. So those were the 2 books that I read for the 30th, and technically I guess like the 26th. I don't remember what day I missed. Yeah, those were the 2 books that I read for that. So we're almost done. Hello, Adam. So yeah, we're almost done with the 31 and 31 challenge. And so if I read 1 more book tomorrow, then I will have completed 31 books in 31 days, and I am so close to done. I can't. Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to read tomorrow. I'm probably just going to go look at my shelves and pick a book that I haven't read yet. Probably something short so that I can guarantee to get my 31 books in, because I'm so close. So, alright, I will check back in with you guys tomorrow when I have finished this challenge or failed it. We'll see. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, so it is August 31st, and that means that this is the last day of my 31 and 31 challenge. And for today, I read The Last Little Blue Envelope by Maureen Johnson. This book is the second book in the 13 Little Blue Envelopes duology. The gist of this series is that a girl gets a set of 13 envelope letters from her aunt who passed away, and that basically sent her on a journey across Europe where she discovers a lot of different things, and this book is about the last envelope. I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. I did not love this book as much as I loved the first one, and that is just because there were a lot of things in this book that I just didn't feel like fit the characters from the first book. and not very much time has really passed since the first book. So I didn't quite understand why so much changed in this time frame between the first book and this one. So yeah, this was the book I read today, and that means this is my 31st book. I did it. I completed 31 books in 31 days. I don't quite know how to feel about it. I'm kind of proud of myself. I did it. I set my mind to it and I read 31 books in 31 days, and I don't feel burnt out, and I don't feel like, yeah, it was hard some days because I didn't really want to read, but I felt like it was worth it, and I am so glad I did it. And yeah, I don't regret doing this challenge at all. I read 31 books in 31 days. Oh my gosh, and this video is gonna be so long. Okay, so in an attempt to not make this video even longer with me just being floored at myself, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for coming along on this ride with me as I tried to challenge myself and then succeeding at challenging myself. I hope you found this interesting, at least a little bit. So yeah, that was everything I read in the month of August in 31 days. Thank you guys so much for watching. I post videos on Mondays and Fridays, so if you're interested in more of my content, please come back and check me out on those days. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.